Hi everyone, I have a Valentine's layout for you this week. I think this is the first time that I'm ever posting a layout about a special occasion or holiday or whatever before the occasion, so yay me! Anyway, I'm taking a Heidi Swap mask right now, and you know what? I'm trying to look for the name of them, and it just has a number one up in the corner. But anyway, it has stars and circles and hearts on it, and I'm just using the area that has the hearts. So I'm using the post-it notes to mask off the areas that I don't want the ink to go, and I'm using Fired Brick Distress ink on that. You know, the stencil is like that almost like a teal blue color, and I'm noticing that on the that on it where I use the distress inks that it looks like some of the color is coming off. I wonder if they know that the color comes off. Hopefully it doesn't come off on a project. So I had already picked my papers out and kind of cut them down to size before I started the video. And the papers I'm using this time are Yes Please from Amy Tangerine, and that's that pink paper with the hearts and arrows on it. The other paper with the hearts on the background is Hello Friend from Glitz Paper. And this black and white polka dotted one is actually from um, Michael's. It's one of those paper pads, and I do not remember which one. But anyway, stupid ATG gun. I swear, I have a very love-hate relationship going on with that thing. I'm also using, it's like a tissue wrap, I think is what it's called, from Tim Holtz, and this one has butterflies and stuff on it. I don't know why it's called tissue wrap because it doesn't really have the consistency of tissue. Um, anyway, I glued part of this down and then I realized that I wanted to make a pocket there to put some simple stories journaling cards in. So I'm taking the adhesive back off and then using red tape to go ahead and make the pocket. I decided to outline all of these little red hearts with a Sharpie, so I'm just using a black Sharpie to do that. So I know I want to use these chipboard hearts from Heidi Swap, and they're the ones that when you ink on them, they have like a resist to them as well. So you'll see what I do with those in a little bit. I also have these rub-ons that I've had for a really long time, and I wanted to try to use some of them. But I noticed that when I went to go use them, a lot of them were like half stuck on the back, half not stuck on them. So I know I want to put something on the backs of these journaling cards that are going in the pocket. Now I'm taking the chipboard hearts and I am inking over the top of them with some color box chalk ink. I don't remember what color it was that I used, but it ended up not being the red that I wanted, so it's more of a pink color. I think you can see that on the video. So I am going to go over those as well with the Fired Brick Distress ink. Now that I have the hearts in, I don't know, to a little bit more of a red color that I want, then I wanted to go around the edges of it with black. And so I took the Black Soot Distress ink and tried to ink around the edges, but it doesn't come out dark enough. So I then decided to get the color box chalk ink out, and I'm going to use black embossing powder and just emboss the edges of all of it. So my embossing powder did stick to the red ink, the distress ink that was in the middle, and I just had to use a brush to kind of brush as much of that off as I could. Now that I have the hearts done, I'm just going back to the layout and deciding where I want to put more things. I took out those journaling spots and decided that I was going to stamp on the back of them, and I'm using Ellie Studios stamps. I'm not sure which ones. They all had like, hearts and I want to say like love themes to them. And I was using Heidi Swap ink just in black to do that. This one is giving me problems because of the red and white polka dot, and so I end up kind of covering up like half of that, but it works out in the end. So when I was embossing the large hearts, then I decided to change the two smaller hearts, and I just embossed the entire things and made them all completely black. So that's what those black hearts are that ended up being attached. Now I'm just going to put down some black enamel dots, and I also have a camera that is from Evilicious. It's like a camera clip, and I know I want to use that on the layout someplace, so I was kind of trying to find a place for it. So this is where I figured out what to do to help my situation with that one journaling spot that just, it was just way too much red and white polka dots, so I needed to tone it down. So I just used a stamp on white cardstock, and then I'm using the what is that, washi tape that's like a camp film strip to just tone it down a little bit. Now I'm actually breaking out the stickles, which I think probably a lot of us have not used in quite a while, but I have a bunch of them, so I may as well use them. And what better layout to make things blingy on than little hearts on a Valentine's layout? So I'm using the Xmas Red. Now I'm going to work on my title, and I'm going to use, I think they're sprinkles thickers. They're a black, and they sort of look a little bit glittery, but not completely. Anyway, I'm going to use those for a part of my title, and the title is going to be Endless Unconditional Love, and that's actually what the journaling that I write on this is about. It's just basically about how from the moment my son was born, I loved him unconditionally and that I always will. Anyway, so I'm using the thickers for the love, and then I'm going to take out Making Memories. They are rub-ons, and they're an older product. I don't know if they make them at all anymore, but they were actually a really neat product because it was a smaller font, and so you were able to put them in to small places, and you were also able to, layer them on top of each other, on top of things, like you could use them on metal or glass. So they were kind of a neat product, and I haven't seen them around for a while, but anyway, that's what I'm going to use for the endless and unconditional words. I'm sorry, I probably should have turned the camera off instead of recording all of this letter cutting. I'm sure that's not really that interesting, but I will talk a little bit instead. This is pretty much the end of this layout, but I did attach some photos at the end of another layout that I did of me and my guy, and definitely more traditional. Well, I mean, not traditional in the appearance of it, but traditional in the fact that it was me and a guy instead of me and my son. Anyway, it was actually a really special layout, and it was actually kind of in correlation to the movie Up, which we both really loved. Anyway, I didn't record that layout, and I wish I had because I thought it turned out really cute, but it took a lot more thought for me to do it, so I didn't mess with the video camera. But anyway, so I did attach some photos of that at the end, as well as some photos of the Valentine's cards that I made this year. And you know what? I actually don't record all of the layouts that I create, but I do post most of them to Facebook. So if you are ever interested, you can always follow me on Facebook, and that's just at Piccadilly Crafts. Anyway, I hope that you all have a fabulous Valentine's Day, and thank you so much for watching.